Zambia Blog Talk Radio.
Ready to take your nursing career to the next level? At Global Nurse Pathways, we're here to make your dream of working in the US healthcare system a reality. From expert NCLEX exam preparations to personalized consulting and relocation support, led by the incredible Dr. Alice Nalondo, who holds a Doctor of Nursing Practice and is certified as a family nurse practitioner and a psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner. Our team delivers top-notch training to help you answer the NCLEX exam. Once you pass your NCLEX exam, we will connect you with the US-based recruiting agencies, setting you on the path to an amazing career in healthcare. Ready to get started? We're just a call or a message away. Call or WhatsApp us now at +1 346 328 1110 for the US or +260 961 875 081 for Zambia or email info@embehavioral.com. Let's make your dreams come true together. Global Nurse Pathways, transforming careers, changing lives.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. It's time for a real serious conversation. It is April the 5th, I believe, Saturday. Tell everybody ZBTR TV is alive and well. All right, today we have a very serious conversation. Our subject for this morning, I am in Dallas, Texas. Please do follow us and subscribe to our YouTube channel on ZBTR TV, Facebook as well, Zambia Blog Talk Radio TV, and we are also on X. You can follow us on all those social media platforms. Today we're talking about the battle for Zambia's democracy. From the subject itself, you can tell we are going to look at certain things. Are these priority matters for our democracy? Are these priority matters creating jobs? Are these priority matters improving the healthcare sector? Are these priority matters improving the educational infrastructure in the educational sector? The battle for Zambia's democracy. And one of the things that we have done over the 61 years of this country's independence is talk youth, 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 by youth, by youth. We always sing this song of youth, 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 youth. So that's what we're going to look at today. So what I decided to do is, instead of bringing a politician or somebody from the government or even the opposition, I decided that we should talk to the youth themselves and hear how they have looked or they are looking at situation prevailing in the nation right now, 10, 15, 20 years, and then see whether we are really prioritizing youth issues here. All right. So joining me today is Mr. Greenwell Chikonde. Greenwell is the founder of the Next 50 movement and is joining me from Dallas, Texas. He lives within my neighborhood, and Greenwell and I interact and we meet once in a while. Greenwell, hi, welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thank you so much. It's an honor.
Excellent. Looking forward to this conversation. And also from the great state of Maryland, the future president of we don't know which country yet, between Zambia and the US. Mhambi Musonda is a student community activist and he's been on this show before. and he joins us to speak also on these matters to do with the youth and how we are going to deal with the issue of this fighting for the issue of democracy in Zambia. Mhambi, welcome. It's
Thank
good
you
to
so
have
much.
you here today. Yeah.
Thank you so
So-
much, Pastor. Always great to be with you.
Excellent, excellent. Now I'm already misplacing my notes here. That shouldn't be happening. Greenwell, what is the next 50 movement?
The next 50 movement is actually the movement that focuses on raising the next generation that shall be able to do exploits in all facets of life, be it in education, be it in politics, be it in ministry. So our goal is to be able to raise the youth, because we know that Zambia eagerly awaits for the manifestation of the young people's ideas, enterprise, passion, compassion, and patriotism. Yeah.
Okay. And the youth, you've been taught for so many years, oh, you are the leaders, you are the leaders. But so let's begin this. The subject is the battle for Zambia's democracy. Okay, we're going to look at how the government is performing or has performed. We're going to look at even the opposition. How are they performing and how are they carrying and conducting themselves? Because democracy is a full-faceted, thing, and it has to be looked at it in its context and the way. Gentlemen, almost all previous administrations in Zambia have had an attempt or did manage to amend the Republican Constitution. Almost all of them from Dr. Kaunda's time. In your view, why are our politicians obsessed with constitutional amendments? Greenwell, since it's your first time here, I'll let you go first. Why are our politicians obsessed with the Constitution?
First of all, for me, I believe even the constitution we have in Zambia is not our constitution in the first place. Okay, so it's like we fought for independence, and then we gained our political independence. Then we adopted the constitution that was made to give power to the people that were oppressing us. Okay, so it's not a document that is Zambia driven. It's a document actually that comes from our oppressors. We take their document out and we begin to use it. That's the reason why every now and then all we need to do is to amend the constitution instead of repealing it. We want to amend. That constitution actually does not empower the Zambian people. It only empowers the people in power. It talks about how to keep power, they need to have more power to control us. So when we talk about constitution amendment, for me, it has to be, that constitution has to be repealed. Then have the Zambian driven constitution, then we can talk about the constitution.
Those are fighting words. Those are fighting words.
Oh my goodness. I know, right? You see why the politicians don't want to hear from the youth?
Yes,
Andy,
because
why are our politicians obsessed with this constitutional issue?
I think that constitutional amendments often come across as a power play, right? So you have many administrations seem to view the Constitution not as a sacred, partnership or covenant between the citizen and the people in power, but as something to tweak for political expedience. You saw that in 1972 when the president made it a one-party state. You saw that in I believe it was 2016 when PF was trying to push Bill 10. So politicians, they do this to push an agenda, to consolidate power, to weaken institutions, and to create legal pathways for controversial decisions. So I think that's why you have a lot of Zambian politicians that try to amend the constitution, because they wanted to fit within their political agenda.
Okay. One of the things that you both mentioned is that the constitution that Zambia has is not meant to empower the people, but to empower the politician. Don't we see this, Greenwell, Mhambi, when we see Frederick Chilwa trying to what's the word? Remember when he did that amendment to keep Kaunda from recontesting?
Yes.
Yeah, when he said you have
he was
to
born
have,
outside of the country.
Yeah, your parents must have been born in Zambia and stuff like that. Isn't this meant to be a power preservation mode?
I think here's the problem. We have a scenario in Zambia where we play politics with everything. We play politics with the governance institutions of governance. We play politics with the education system, the health system, and like you said in the first place, every person that gets the power before they win the election, you hear them campaign to say we need democracy, we need to fight for democracy. But the fight of democracy in Zambia is kind of like temporal, because it only suits when people are in opposition. But when they gain power, the goal actually, after just winning the election, the goal is not to bring about good governance. The goal is now about to bar the people that we feel like they intimidate us. Like Chiluba comes in and is intimidated. He thinks Kaunda is going to win an election. What he does, it brings about, the sections and the chapters in the constitution that will make Kaunda not to stand. Then we see the likes of Sata comes in. Everybody's saying Sata tries Edgar Lungu again. They are saying, oh, HH has been standing for president for 5 times. So we need to come up with something that can stop somebody from standing 5 times. But we are saying this guy has never won the election. So the only term limit only applies to somebody if you win an election. So we're just playing politics because we want to prolong our power. And like they say, that absolute power corrupts. They are very wise, they are very educated, they have the plan for Zambia when they're in opposition. But when they come,
they don't have
when they win the election, the same things they fought against. The same thing they did not, they were saying the PF did this and that. Those are the same thing they are saying. And the only problem I have is that even the Constitution, when you look into the Constitution in Section 72, it actually provides how the Constitution should be amended. This is not a partisan thing. Okay, we should not look at the Constitution with the political lenses, because this is not about UPND or PF. The Constitution should be the supreme document that guides us, whether you're UPND or PF or MMD. But the problem we have is that all these people, they are doing, they are fighting for this and that. There's no national referendum. It's just about
there's no national interest.
There's no national interest.
It's about power preservation.
Who did you sit with to come up with Bill 10? Who did you sit with to come up with the Constitution amendment? How many people were there? So that's the problem. They are only good, talking good things when they are in opposition, but once they get the power, they forget about the people.
I'll say this, that the people it hurts the most are regular people. It hurts the citizens because it fuels a culture of distrust in government. If you're not going out and having dialogues with people about these proposed constitutional amendments, it breeds a culture of distrust. There was I think a week ago, one of the UPND officials, I think it was a media director, said that, no, we've been having conversations with people. But people, if you ask people, there's been no conversations.
Which people? The question is which people? When you say people, which people are you talking about?
Well, stakeholders, right? Stakeholders in the public sector, stakeholders in the religious sector, stakeholders in the academic sector. So they haven't been having these conversations about, I think if you're going to amend the Constitution, it takes a whole of government approach and a whole of country approach. You have to be willing to have dialogues, have town halls, have areas of arenas of public discussion, so we can again amend it in a right way.
All right, I want us to take this a step further. All right, let's take in the quest for. So I hope you can all see this. My question is that, wouldn't it be obvious and common sense that a top-heavy legislature, judiciary, and even the executive aren't ways to create employment? Okay, how is adding 90 more MPs gentlemen, everybody watching, how is adding 90 more MPs a productive thing? Is that job creation? But they still do it anyway. How is this productive? Tell me, Mhambi, how is this productive when we add 90 more MPs?
The expansion of government ministries and secretary positions in Zambia under the guise of efficiency, it may seem valid when you look at it, but I think many see it as appointments for political rewards, not necessities. Just look at the Ministry for Green Economy, for example. It's great in theory, but has it delivered? Or is it just another way to create a position for for a loyalist? So these moves are often rationalized as job creation, but they're not sustainable jobs. In South Africa, they face the same backlash. The ANC government faced the same backlash for maintaining a bloated government and cabinet positions that seek to serve no real purpose except to appease factions. So I think the question that the UPND government has to ask is, are these the creation of these government ministries, are they really to help the people, or are they to reward your political allies as we head toward an election?
So Greenwell, we have how many MPs? 150?
It should be 156.
156, okay. So if we add 90 more,
yeah, like I said in the first place, we are going to develop and talk about democracy if politicians right now, if they learn to put a distinction between politics and governance. Okay, they are talking about it may sound similar. Politics and governance are different things.
Two different things.
Politics is about is partisan. It's about individuals, about groupings. Yes. Okay,
yes.
But when you talk about governance, you don't play. Governance does not just favor one group of people, because when it comes to the public safety, it's governance. That's not politics. When it comes to government efficiency, that's governance and not politics. So I feel the creation of or adding 90 MPs. Yeah. First of all, it brings a lot of that's an expenditure. Okay, you are adding more people, which means you pay. This is what I have. Like, even when it comes to the selection of the cabinet ministers. Yes. Okay, that's why there's no efficiency, because you put somebody. I'll give an example. During the PF regime, we had Given Luvinda. Given Luvinda was the Minister of Justice. Yes. He doesn't know anything about law. When he was appointed as the Minister of Justice, guess what? He enrolled as a student at Unilas, okay, and is learning on job, okay.
On the job training.
And then we are talking about efficiency. For me, when we talk about efficiency, it's not about adding more members. It's about giving the jobs, like the ministerial positions, to the people that qualify. There have been people like the PS in this ministry, like in education. They have been there for 10 years, 20 years. Those are the people that deserve to be ministers, because they know the job. They've been doing the same job for years. So adding on a number to the MPs does not bring about efficiency. You can have 10 people that know what they are doing, and you can have 50 people that do know what they are doing. It's not about the number. It's about people knowing what they're supposed to do. It's about people knowing their job description. So for me, adding of that, those are just political things, and it's not going to bring about efficiency. Actually, it's gonna cost the nation, because we need to pay them.
It will cost the nation. It will cost the nation.
There's a difference. I want to piggyback off what Greenwell said. There's a difference between politics, and then there's a difference between governing. Governing is much difficult, and governing requires that you put in qualified people. Governing requires that you take off your partisan hat and put on your governing hat, and that means that you sometimes you're gonna have to compromise. Sometimes you're gonna have to get yourself in trouble. Why? Because you're elevating the public interest above your own political interest. There's a difference between, and a lot of politicians don't get that. Once they are in government, they realize that, wow, this thing is really hard, and you're trying to appease different constituencies, but because you haven't articulated to the people that, listen, when I get in office, things are going to be difficult. It's not because, I'm trying to, be difficult. It's because governing is a process. You have to articulate to the people that there's a difference between politics and governing. Politics requires fighting. Governance requires action.
Exactly. Okay, I want you both to respond to this comment, okay? Banga, that's the name we have here. She says, adding more MPs is better for efficiency of service delivery. Mind you, Zambia is vast and some constituencies are way too big and representation is not balanced. Do you want to respond to that?
First of all, if we're talking about representation, if we even just look at the cabinet for the current president, okay, representation is not about including people. It's not about having 400 MPs, okay. You can have 500 MPs, but if those people don't deliver, it's just going to be the same. HH talks about representation. He said actually the reason why they're doing the amendment of the constitution is because they want to make sure that they include the youth, they include the women. But there is nothing that limits, or there is no article in the constitution that stops President Hakainde Hichilema from appointing the women for representation or appointing the youth. Right now, he has only 4 women. Okay, 4 women. In the cabinet, 4 women, and then we have a lot of old men. Okay, so from there, we can say there is no youth representation. So there is no youth representation in Zambia. There is no women representation, and there are people at different able. Okay, you cannot have Gary Nkombo, anybody to represent the differently able, because you don't know what they face. So when you talk about representation, first of all, it has to start with a cabinet, okay? Yes, we know that Zambia is so big. Zambia is growing. We have 20 million plus people. But right now, first of all, we don't even have the money for to put up all those people, 90 MPs coming in. Yes, it might sound a good idea, but the question is, why are you doing that? You find that mostly they have like hidden agendas. So we cannot talk about efficiency by adding more MPs. Okay, efficiency has to start now in the cabinet. Representation has to start now. You need to adopt a lot of youth. You need to adopt a lot of women. And as a matter of fact, women are the majority. Okay, and the youth are the majority. So how do you marginalize the majority in the country and just bring the likes of Jack Mwimbu, who has been an MP for many years in his constituency, with nothing, not even a road where he is, and he's there. You talk about representation. So for me, it's not about adding the MP. For me, it's about being effective. It's not actually having a big number of MPs. It's delivering on the promises and knowing the job that you are called for.
I think efficiency starts from restructuring. I don't want to sound like Elon Musk, but you have to restructure the government, and you have to restructure it in a responsible way to ensure that there is.
How should the Zambian government be restructured, Mhambi?
You know what? I think that one may be out of my expertise, but I will say this: it will require. I think you have to be able to, again, I'm going to use the term again, what I said before. You have to be willing to consult with different parties. You have to be able to consult with the intellectual class, the academic class, the civil societies, the public sector, so you can restructure the government in a manner that is more responsive to the people. So I don't have the answer to that question, but I would just say this: you have to consult the different stakeholders.
Which we are not very good at doing in Zambia.
No, we're not.
We don't consult.
No, the problem in Zambia, I believe, mostly is the system. So we may talk about people can come with their political manifesto, but the system is weird. So like he said, like my brother said, first of all, we have a government that is responsive not to the citizens but to the funders, the people who paid for their political ads. Okay, so it's not us. We're not represented at any cost. Okay, and even when you look at any president that comes, the first thing they do is they come with their own people, and those people, the reason why they come with them, those people are loyal to them. They've been loyal. They've been fighting together. But it's not about loyalty when it comes to governance. Okay, I can be loyal to you. That I can fight for you. But if I do not qualify the job, don't give me the job. And then you find that we need to pledge, all these institutions, they need to pledge allegiance to the constitution, but they pledge allegiance to the president of Zambia.
Yeah.
Let's take, for instance, the chief justice. Those are things that we should not be playing with, because every government changes the chief justice. So who do you expect the chief justice to pledge allegiance to?
Yeah.
Is to the president, because they know that there is no law that protects them. If I become president, I'm coming with my own chief justice. So we are playing politics with all these institutions. So the moment we begin to understand, to say, we change the system and not have politicians whose goal is to win the next election. Okay, once we have leaders whose goal is to build Zambia and for the next generation, then all this, even representation, we can have 10 people in cabinet and still develop Zambia and make Zambia great, like Trump says in his words.
Let's conclude this point by me asking, how shall we make this wild goose? That's what goose chase of the Constitution Amendment. What will it take for this to go away, Mhambi?
I think
what do we need to do as citizens?
Calls to clean up the Constitution following legal confusions typically happen, I think, after elections. So I don't think that pushing a constitutional amendment during an election period when tensions are already high is the right thing to do. And UPND, they said, well, it's because we were in an economic crisis that we could not focus on constitutional reforms. That's not the right way of doing things. Tensions are already high. So let's do it after the election. If you have a majority in parliament, that means you have a governing mandate to change things, not during an election period. It reminds me of in America when the Supreme Court justice died, and then they put her in, they nominated another one 2 weeks before the election. You don't do that. Tensions are high. You have to do it after an election while you have a governing mandate. So what I would tell those of you who are in leadership who might be listening, you want to do it after the election period. Tensions are high right now politically. And if you do it now, that's the people are already unsatisfied with current leadership for many reasons. But if you push a constitutional amendment a month before an election, come on. Do it afterwards, at least.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Because, I mean, even the bishops, they said it to say they did approach this government at the beginning of their current term of office to address the constitutional issue. They said there was no money in the budget for it. Okay, let's move on. Let me play this clip. Let me play this clip, and I want you all to listen to this, okay? Then we'll comment on this.
Seeing people doing contracts in Kanchivia, it's not that because it's true, it's a narration. Media. I'm not accusing Kanchivia of anything. Please, let's understand the king's language. In Shangom, people doing contracts for CDF are still coming from Lusaka and the Copperbelt. Yet the guideline was that the money must stay in the constituency so that we create a local economy there. Simple. Honestly, we can't say there are no bricklayers in Shangom. But there are private homes which have been built by people in Shangom who are bricklayers. How come a classroom contract is given to people in Lusaka and Copperbelt? Enforce that. The money must stay in the constituents. If there's no skill in the constituents' capacity in the district, there's no skill in the district, in the province, at least the money circulates. Rarely only should we have contractors coming from it. Because if we don't do that, Minister, it defeats the whole objective of increasing the CDF so that the money creates local economies. And kwa manavadala simunza ngumaka nazo. It's very simple. So to enforce that, you have to work with your PSs, with your directors in the ministry, in the councils.
So what was your first, what was the first thing that came to your mind when you heard that?
I would say this: it was striking and a bit disheartening. There was honesty, but you could also see there was a hint of frustration in his remarks that things aren't moving as fast as he envisioned. And it felt like to me a leader trying to balance public accountability with internal political realities. I think his tone also suggested that he knows that, you know, the mismanagement is deep, but also that
Exactly,
the
Mhambi,
political
Greenwell.
cost.
He
Yes.
is aware of the
He's aware
mismanagement.
of the mismanagement, but he knows
Yeah.
that the political cost might be higher than anticipated. But he's aware, and that it's clear that he's aware of the mismanagement.
Oh, Greenwell,
Yeah,
what was the first impression?
I think first of all, Hakainde is a president.
Mm-hmm.
He's the one who picked those people.
Yep.
And actually has the intelligence. He knows exactly what is going on.
The buck stops
He
with him.
knows exactly what is going on. There is no need to go on ZMBs and begin to talk about that. Like, you want to sound good, like you are the angel. What he's supposed to do is just put those. He knows the people. Okay, and I would love to commend him for firing Gary Combo. Okay, that for me, that actually brought some decency in his president, because when you're dealing with people like Gary Combo, those are like big people in the UPND. Actually, him standing up and firing somebody, even though he has not given us the reasons or whatever, but we can see in his speech he's frustrated. That shows that actually it brings more faith, and the people will be like, if you can fire Gary Combo, then you can fire me. So for me, to be honest, I give that to the president. But coming to the ZMBC on TV and begin to talk about, like he always talks, like this guy says, the greatest talker is the greatest liar. There is no need to stand and begin to talk. Just fire the people that you know are not doing the job. At the end of the day, if I'm employed and I'm not working, I'm getting paid for free. So it's not like the president doesn't know. He knows exactly. But again, let's give it up to him for firing people that we never thought would be fired. Yeah. But we need more of that, because now people, even the junior ones, they'll realize, especially in these ministries, like, Gary Combo is fired, then I can be fired. So that's a good thing. But for me, let's not talk much. Let's deliver. Call the people and fire those people that are not doing the job.
I'll just say this, because I think that's a good point. People want action and not just acknowledgement. And there's been widespread reports in Western Province, other provinces, about how CDF funds have not been allocated, properly. In Combo, I think there was a story about the ambulances. They ordered ambulances, only I think 16 ambulances it showed up. So
how many did they order?
I think I don't remember the exact number, but I think it was over 100. Don't tell me on it, but I know that only 16 ambulances had showed up.
The curse of the ambulances.
The curse of the ambulances. That is an issue. Again, this is why there's distrust in government, because people rely on government to be an effective agency, an effective agent of the public will. And if there's undeveloped, CDF funds that are not being used, it breeds a culture of incompetence, and it breeds a culture of mistrust. And as my brother said, if Nkombo can be fired, I think that should send a message to every MP, every cabinet official, that you need to get to work, and you need to deliver, show clear results, or else you're next. So on that one, I will commend him on that one.
And this issue of the CDF.
Wait, Greenwell, before you come in. One of the statements that he makes in that video clip we played, quote, people doing contracts are still coming from Lusaka and the Copper Belt. So, like you say, the ideas and the concept of this idea is very good.
Yes.
Okay? Build the local economy.
Yes.
Let the money be in the district, or at least within the province.
Invest in the community.
Which means this is not working, Greenwell. The people doing contracts are still coming from Lusaka and the Copper Belt.
I don't have a problem, because what if the people in Lusaka are the ones who qualify for the job? So like he's saying, the contractors are coming to Lusaka to go and build. He spoke about the bricklayers. maybe that project does not need a bricklayer, needs builders, because a bricklayer and a builders are different people. So I don't have a problem with the economy being there. But when we're talking about building all these things, we need people. We need people that are going to, when we put up an infrastructure building, is going to stand the test of time. It's not just about to say, oh, because it's in Shangombo, so the people of Shangombo, we are giving you the project to do this. Yeah, that could be a good idea if they qualify. But what if they don't qualify? If they don't qualify, they'll get a contractor from Lusaka or from Kitwe, because those people qualify for the job. The concept here is to let the money be in the same constituency. But when you talk about CDF, I've had a lot of questions with the CDF. You find that every year the government releases CDF, but ask some MPs. I've had interviews MPs. The CDF for 2023 has not been used because it has not reached the constituency, and then now we release the CDF for 2024. So if we give them 3 million kwacha in 2023, before we release the money in 2024, we need to do the checks and balances. How was the money used? How much was used? How did this money, bring about development in the constituency? So they can talk about figures and they talk about money, but ask the MPs. Some MPs have not even seen how the CDF was used in 2024, and yet the government says we have increased CDF for 2025, which is a good idea. But this money is just figures. It's not in the constituency. It's a political thing. If you release 3 million, the next step is to follow up
with how that 3 million has been used.
Yes, and let the people who are involved explain. This is how much we use. This is what's remained. But before even doing that, they released 5 million again.
5 million more.
And again 5 million. So all those CDF is just political talk. It's just political play. It's not there. The MPs, they'll tell you, I have not seen CDF for 2024. But the government will say we have released CDF. Even I know my brother was complaining about the ambulances. They are told to buy. There's
by
no
the
money.
way, we are, thank you, thank you, Bangashi. There were 156. One per constituency was the goal. Can you, Banga? Can you please confirm for us how many were delivered, if you have that information? So it was 156 ambulances, one for each constituency. Go ahead, Greenwell.
So just right there. Ambulance, one for 150 constituency.
Yeah.
That's a drop in the ocean. Like the constituencies are so big to release one ambulance, first of all.
That's right.
Okay. So for me, the money can be released, CDF can be increased. They can talk about, we have increased this year. But if we cannot see the impact of CDF, there's no need to increase. First of all, we need to make sure that the people in charge, we hold them accountable for that.
Okay.
You can't keep releasing the money every year without following up the money. Like just 2 weeks ago, I was talking to one of the MPs, and he's saying, all that CDF is just mere talk. Some of us, we have not seen the money. They say we have released 3 million, but we can't see 3 million. And then the next year, they release 5 million. So those figures, the MPs, they don't even see the money. Because that's just a political language, so that you know that, this government is working, where our concentration is to be able to develop the constituency. They can have good talks, but there's nothing that is happening with the CDF funds.
You see, the concept, I really love the concept and the things that the president was saying, okay? People, I mean, the money should circulate within the district or the province. Miss Brenda here says, gentlemen, the local contractors need to market themselves, and it has to be on merit to win these contracts.
Exactly.
So in other words, it shouldn't just be that just because CDF Yaku Kanchivia, the people in Kanchivia, if they don't qualify, then what do we do? What do we do, Mhambi?
And those are the same problems we have, like when we get contractors because we want to please them from Kanchivia, because the money is Kanchivia. People don't qualify for that. Okay, you even give them that CDF to say you are going to do this. They're not going to even use it. Give them to build a bridge. That bridge, the next rain season, will be wiped away because they do not qualify for the job. So like Miss Brenda said, we need people that qualify for the job. They can come from Lusaka as long as they are building a bridge in Shangombo, the bridge that will stand the test of time. I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem because, first of all, we don't want to be building the bridge every year.
Yep.
There are some things when you do them, they have to be done forever.
Repair the same bridge.
No,
every
can't repair the
rainy
same
season.
bridge every year. So me, I don't care because you are from Kanshibia or I need to take this this contract. If you do not qualify for the job, I'd rather give somebody, some contractor somewhere, because we want that bridge to stand.
Yep. Yep. I'll just say this, that I think it points to, regarding the question of CDF, it points to, I think, an institutional weakness within our government, that there's a lack of accountability with the misappropriation of funds. But the longer that action is delayed, the more it undermines the president's credibility on anti-corruption and government efficiency. And he ran on, I'm going to restore government. So the longer that there are these issues, it undermines his credibility, and it might hurt him next year.
Yeah, seriously. I want to, you see, now let's dwell a little bit on that, on the fight against corruption. Okay. Wait, I'm looking for something here. Where's that fight against corruption? I should have labeled it. Let's see. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. You see that?
Yeah.
You see,
I think the fight against corruption in Zambia is a joke. That's the biggest joke ever. Because remember, the former first lady was just given the houses they grabbed from her.
Exactly. That's why I'm putting this up on the screen here. State grabs Lungu's lodge. So this was handed back, right? It was handed back a few days
ago. Yes, it was handed back a week ago.
No, this is a recent
this
scenario.
Is different, right?
This is different. But remember, the first lady used to go to court. The houses, the flats were grabbed from her. Okay, but 2 weeks ago she was given back. So at the end of the day, Lungu and his family, they are doing good. They're okay, and the people of Zambia have lost. Okay, so the fight of corruption for me is a joke. It's the biggest joke because.
So the government
scores.
This is like 4 years into office, and we're still dealing with these issues. So, in your view, I want you both to comment to this question. Has the fight, Greenwell, you're already saying it's a joke. So, has the fight against corruption failed?
Yes.
Lamentably.
Yeah, because actually there is no transparency in what is going on. We hear a lot of things. Oh, Boma Lusambo has been arrested. We hear the first lady, this and that. Give me 2 years. Boma Lusambo will be released from jail, and whatever they got from him is going to be given. Okay. Edgar Lungu Lodge is going to be given to him, because before they even start the fight, they do not do the background. They do not do the job in the background. Okay. Before you even announce that you are going to arrest or grab stuff from Edgar Lungu, first of all, do some investigation, thorough investigation before you rush into grabbing stuff. Thorough investigation is needed, because you're using the taxpayers' money. That's our money. Okay. Prosecuting these people, that's our money. And at the end of the day, you give them what they stole, and we lose the money as a nation. So there has to be a lot. There has to be a law that has to be done, and this has to be beyond partisan politics. This is a biggest fight, and this has caused a lot of damage in the health sector, in the education, and in many government institutions. We need to be able to be serious when it comes to corruption. As for me, even corruption has to be a non-bailable offense. You have to go to jail for it. When we say we have grabbed the Lungu's lodge, let that lodge begin to give us money as a nation, and don't give it back to him.
Has the fight against corruption failed?
The fight for corruption died when Levy died. After that, we just failed. So the misappropriation of funds, if the other ledge against the former president or against Mr. Bowman, maybe there was misappropriation of funds, but because of our toxic political culture, people will go into their different political camps and say, oh, no, it's because, he doesn't like this one, or the president, he's trying to get back at this one. So the fight for corruption has become tainted by our toxic political culture, where it's tit for tat. Because I didn't like him when I'm in power, I'm gonna go get him. Because I didn't like her when I'm in power, I'm gonna go get him.
That's basically how it sounds. You put it very well.
So sad. It's so sad. It's so sad. That's how it is.
It sounds like that, but to be honest, let's talk about the PF. They stole the money. They were thieves.
Yes,
that's the truth. I don't care if you're PF. They stole the money. They were thieves. Okay, so President Hakainde Hichilema fighting that. It's not like it may sound like I'm trying to fix you. Let it sound like that. Maybe Hakainde Hichilema wants to fix Edgar Lungu, but if Edgar Lungu stole, whether it's personal,
you should be held accountable.
It should be prosecuted. It should be held accountable. So the fight for corruption is not supposed to be like a partisan thing. This is big because at the end of the day, the fight corruption has cost us a lot of things. No medicine in the hospitals. People are dying. The education system, though we can say it's free education, but there is no quality education. There is no equality in education. The children in Lusaka and the children going to school in the rural areas, they have no access to the same facilities, the same things. In Shangombo, they don't even have a computer. Okay, in Lusaka, they're saying we are doing CT, creative technology, and then the kids, they only see the computer in the books, and they're saying it's quality, it's free education. So if only corruption, the fight against corruption was real, we were serious about it, we're going to improve our education sector. We're going to improve our health sector. But let's not take it just because Edgar Lungu and Hakainde Hichilema were fighting. If Edgar stole the money, it should be prosecuted because it's not about the law. You cannot.
No one is.
Somebody said, Truman said, if you are a politician and you become rich, you are a thief.
Yes.
You are a thief.
Yes. This one, he's getting people into trouble. He's dangerous.
Oh yeah, that's why I brought him here. Okay, let's look at our opposition. Everybody watching, you gentlemen have heard that HH is winning because there's no opposition in Zambia. So our opposition, one thing that I notice is that it's not even about HH or over the years, even it's
personal.
Yes, you see these personal attacks, okay, and you don't hear vision. You don't hear an economic plan. Greenwell, you said at the beginning it's political. Are we short of visionary leadership in the country, Mhambi?
There's no visionary leadership in Zambia. It's sad to say, but let's just admit it. There's no vision. If visionary leadership is why me, then we're in trouble. We're in serious trouble if that's where we're getting our visionary leadership from. We are in a very reactive political environment where the opposition often focuses on scoring political points rather than offering policy alternatives. There are no concrete policy alternatives to what's happening in Zambia. I haven't heard any. Maybe our viewers have heard some, but I have not seen a credible opposition party rise and offer a countering vision to UPND. That's dangerous because without a credible opposition party, the ruling party gets too comfortable and you think that you can just rule by fiat. So we need leadership that will prioritize ideas over insults. We need to stop listening to why me and Monica and all these people who are just lying. Who are just lying and who are just, there was a story. This was, I think, 2 months ago. People, the opposition, they were insinuating that because HH wasn't seen in public, that he had a stroke. Really? Come on, guys. Let's be serious, Mwelani. Let's be serious. Let's prioritize ideas over insults. Ideas over insults.
I like that.
That's what's going to win elections.
The opposition, Papa, again.
Yes. I know you're gonna make your point. We have 3 alliances now. You know, I mean,
there are no alliances.
alliances. We have the UPND alliance, we have Tonse, and we have UKA. They are bracing themselves for 2026.
So,
You know.
first, the opposition is one of the biggest joke again in Zambia. The opposition is the biggest joke. But again, this comes from afar. Okay, when somebody wins the election, the next job is to be able to fight the biggest opposition. We're gonna. It will be unwise for us not to admit that MMD, when Chilo became president in 1991, MMD's goal was to destroy UNIP. Okay, and then we had Mwanawasa, Rupia Banda. Then we had again SATA comes. SATA's job also to destroy MMD. They created wrangles in the MMD. They want to kill the voices
and
of
that strategy. Why?
And then we see, for me, I expected a lot. I'm not a fan of Hakainde Hichilema, but I expected a lot because the man in opposition said a number of good things.
That's
things that were sweet to our ears. They were very sweet to our ears. We knew that HH is going to do something. He was supposed to raise a bar. But again, the same thing that we saw MMD do, the same thing we saw PF do, is the same thing we have seen Hakainde Hichilema doing. They are fighting. They have created wrangles in the PF. We have now Mao Sampa, who is president of the PF. Then there's Chavinga as well.
There are two PF political parties.
Then there's a Tonse Alliance. First of all,
that's confusing.
That sounds good to because Zambians vote basically on a song. Okay, so for me, what HH is supposed to do is not even to fight this opposition, not to fight Edgar Lungu. When you begin to fight the people that lost the election, he won the election. 2 million people. When you begin to fight them, then you bring yourself so low. What he's supposed to concentrate on right now is delivering on his promises. That's what he promised. That can give him an election next year. Okay? And even though he doesn't do that, of course, he's still going to win because they have destroyed the opposition. Who's going to stand there? Who's going to compete with Hakainde Hichilema? Mao Sampa cannot win an election.
No.
He can't. Tonse Alliance, Harry Kalaba, they're not winning nothing. So every now and then we kill the democracy in our country because we begin now to demonize and fight those people who have different opinions from us, different ideas. But that's how a political environment should be. We should have different voices saying that, providing checks and balances. Look at the checks and balances in Zambia when it comes to the opposition. Why me insulting? That's checks and balances. Mao Sampa, I don't know what he's even doing. That's checks and balances. So you can't have a health democracy with such opposition. We need the leaders that put the interest of Zambians at first. And even when you look at even how they appoint a vice president, there is no president in Zambia that has ever appointed somebody to be the vice president with political ambitions. The only one who did that was Mwanawasa, appointed Nevas Mumba. The moment he realized that Nevas Mumba wanted to be president in the future, he was fired.
Kicked him out.
Then we had Sata. Sata knew. He gave Guy Scott the vice president. Sata knew that even though I die, Guy Scott does not qualify to be president. Then we have Edgar Lungu. He knew that Bamaba Inonga cannot win no election. So even their opponents, the people that they choose, they are weak. They are weak. Papa, if you're running an organization, you need people that you know that even though you are to die today, they'll carry on the mandate. We have the vice president right now in Zambia. When President Hakainde Hichilema leaves the country, she does not even act as a vice president. She does not qualify. The weakest vice president ever. So all those kind of things, we are going nowhere because we want to put people in position of power, people who are weaker than us, because we don't want to be challenged. Once a leader does not want to be challenged, because you're not a monopoly of wisdom, we need people that can challenge you and provide the checks and balances that are going to build you and make you a better leader.
Yeah. The battle for Zambia's democracy is our discussion for today, and let's hear from the people watching. Nida, my amazing sister, says, I love the topic. Kudos to the producer. Thank you. Thank you, Nida. And Dr. Kasonso says, when I was on Global Tour in 2023, I told you the CDF is a fluke. Until I can see results and the impact, it's talk, nothing more. Okay, that's what Dr. Kasonso is saying. Our sister Brenda says, we have Mao Sampa, who is obsessed with Ngombeile Deva opposition.
And those are checks and balances.
Yeah, I know, right? Dr. Kasonso again says, the election next year must be cancelled. We don't have a contest. Why waste money? Should we cancel the election, Mhambi?
I don't think so. We
shouldn't cancel. Let it go, right? Let him get another 2 million.
I think Mhambi is just being nice. He's just being nice because he wants to have a democratic process. I agree. We don't need an election next year. For what for? It's a sheer waste of money.
Yeah. Joe K says, when is HH moving to the State House? Is this not in the Constitution that every elected president should move to the State House regardless of their beliefs? Now, when he says, when he says beliefs there, there's a connotation. We say, what reason has the president given for not moving into State House?
I don't know. I don't know why. But I'll tell you that our family house is near where the president lives.
Yeah.
So we have a road that's been built. So I don't know why he hasn't moved. But we're benefiting from the road that's been built. But I don't know why he hasn't moved. I think that again, the State House is the president's house. It is the seat of power in Zambia. And I don't know, they were trying to bewitch him. I don't know, but at BBC. But I think he should move there. It is the seat of power in Zambia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Greenwell. What has happened to him? There's another comment here. It says, the problem is the opposition is suppressed by the ruling. That's why we don't see any opposition. Yeah, I think
all those kind of things. So it's there's no constitution, there's no law that demands that the president should live in State House. There is no law. There is no law that he can do whatever he wants.
Greenwell, even if there's no law, it's just
custom.
I hate the word tradition. It's just a tradition.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is done. It's just the way things work. I mean, can you imagine Trump coming from Trump Tower in New York and going to work in Washington? Does that make sense?
I think he tried to do that, but then they said logistically it won't be possible.
Trump, right?
So, yeah. So I know it's tradition, but if what's the impact? What are the benefits of the president working from?
Well, I'll just say this.
For one thing I know. Let me tell you.
It causes traffic on the road.
People watching from Zambia can. You've probably heard this yourself. The people in Zambia can bear witness with this point I'm going to make. It's created traffic.
Exactly.
Nightmare.
That's what I was going to say. We saw that when I was there last year.
Every time the president is leaving his house to go to State House, they close off the roads.
Yep.
They don't close the road 5 minutes before he leaves.
Yep.
They do it for I don't know how long.
2 to 3 hours, actually.
2 to 3 hours. Now, can you imagine? You want to go somewhere, then you are told the road is closed.
Yep, because
so that's one of the issues. And then the traffic, the presidential motorcade back and forth. I know
because it believes in the myth.
My sister says moving into State House is irrelevant.
But logistically,
it's the people in that neighborhood say I've got friends who live in that neighborhood.
Yes,
they are telling me it's a nightmare. Okay. Let's move on from that. Let's deal with this. There is one thing that we need to stop entertaining in Zambia. There is one thing, and this I'm very passionate about. Like I'm very passionate about. I don't like by-elections like oh my goodness me. By-elections are a waste of money. By-elections. Okay. So we have this nonsense. Okay. Can you all see that?
Yes.
Isn't what these guys, Dr. Kasonso, Nida, everybody watching, don't these guys take an oath of office when they are given these positions? What is this nonsense, Mhambi? What is this nonsense about when you are no longer in power and then you're going to spill what beans? What beans are you going to spill, Amos? Come on, you were part of the nonsense.
I'm not sure. I don't know if you know, in America, they do the same. You know, there are a lot of books that have come out with, former staffers talking about, when Trump did this. So I don't know what his intention is. Exposing wrongdoing on one hand is valuable, even if it comes late. On the other hand, it raises serious questions about Amos Chanda's motive and his integrity. I think that we should critically evaluate such revelations and demand accountability. We should also ask, why now? Why should we give him a get out of jail card? Why should we listen to him after he was such? Why now? Why are you spilling the beans now? Why are you waiting close to an election to start revealing these secrets?
So it's very simple.
His integrity, I think, is very questionable to me.
I think for me it's very simple. Amos Chanda just wants to protect himself.
Yeah.
From what?
Because it was like being investigated for corruption. There's a number of things, like he was arrested before. So this is a problem we have. Like
him, Greenwell. Sorry to interrupt. So him saying you spill the beans exonerates him from prosecution?
Because now he's like speaking the UPND language, so it's like he's one of us. So they'll protect him. That's how politics is played in Zambia.
Is it true that the president says he doesn't want him in the party? Is that true?
The president has not. The president has not said that. So politics is about numbers. Politics is about numbers. Let's not. Amos Chanda has influence. In as much as he may look whatever, he has influence. So him joining UPND or him talking against the PF, actually, it adds on the numbers to the UPND. So the politics that is played in Zambia is about. I like Gary Mukombo. He said it's politics of the belly. He wants to protect whatever they store so that the UPND may not prosecute him. So in as much as you be like, oh, he's doing this and that, he's protecting himself. It's about himself. But again, that brings about the character of a leader.
Exactly.
That's a character of a leader.
Exactly.
Because
I mean, just like Brenda is saying here, people need to be taken to court for breaking the rules of NDA. It actually lowers someone's integrity. Like you are saying, there is a what happened to the oath of confidentiality?
But Papa, this did not start today. We've seen in the people that destroyed PF are the people that were in MMD, the people that stole, the corrupt people. So now they joined the PF and PF protected them. We've seen this for many years. Okay, and this is. The UPND also should be a party that is not going to allow anybody that comes just because you are Amos Chanda or you are Mal Sampa and you are afraid of the police. Now you want to be part of us. These people are not part of the UPND. So now they're just protecting themselves. And they should know that political power is temporal. Okay. You can be in power for 2 years, 5 years, another person is going to be president. So all these politics of the belly, of protecting my personal interest, is a politics that makes us be going in circles as a nation. Amos Chanda should not even be close to the UPND.
No.
Because they should know that the same thing is doing right now. When Musonda becomes president, he's going to join Musonda because he wants to protect himself. And now he's going to begin to spew the beans from the UPND. And this is some childish kind of play politics.
Yeah,
it does not make sense.
It is childish. It's childish. How should we deal with people like this, Mhambi, before we conclude our conversation?
That if Mr. Chanda wants to truly redeem himself, I think he should go through formal inquiries, formal channels, not just media tours. The truth is important, but so is accountability, and we live in a culture that loves sensationalization. So we feed off of these things. That's why when Vador wrote a book, I think a year ago, people only read the book because they wanted to see what tea was in the book. So I think that Mr. Chanda should, again, you go through proper community channels, submit to inquiries or commissions. You talk to the relevant authorities and the law and justice sphere. You just don't go on media tour and start spilling the beans, because that tells you a lot about who he is, and it tells you, I think, a lot about the character of the leadership in the party that he came from. He's not loyal to his leaders, and he's someone who's he's a shapeshifter. One day he'll be for you, the next day he'll stab you in the back. So that's somebody that you need to watch.
And whatever he's saying does not make sense. Why say it now?
Exactly.
So the character of true leaders, when you see something wrong, you say it when
in the moment. You don't
in the
wait.
moment. You can't wait for 4 years and begin to tell us what happened when Edgar Lungu was president. We're not interested in that.
That's why the reason I brought this up. Our topic is the battle for Zambia's democracy. You see, these are some of the things that undermine our democracy. Okay. Newton says officials need to be signing a non-disclosure agreement. I thought when they take that oath of office, they understand the confidentiality thing. You cannot, it's just like an army general saying, because Mwamvandula, now I'm going to disclose how to open. I'll give you the combination to the lock of how to open where the missiles or the weapons are. That's very stupid. Okay.
It's sensationalism.
It is, yeah. KC says just like Adam from New York, MAGA affiliate. He's right. Let's point out things where even in America it's happening, but it's not justified.
It's going to carry more weight when you say it in the moment, because now we know the character of the leader. But when you wait for 4 years to tell us what happened, right now we are concentrating on a lot of things. We have load shedding. We have the high cost of living. We don't care what Edgar Lungu did. He's no longer our president. So even when you spill that information, when you disclose that information, the first thing is what are we going to do with that information? So it's just a matter of protecting yourself because you're afraid of being prosecuted.
I'll say this. I know we're time short, but it reminds me of in America there was a journalist named Bob Woodward. He met with Trump in February in 2021. Yes. Trump told him that COVID was dangerous. He said, no, this is going to be bad. He waited until September to release information out to the public in advance of his book. So people are like, why did you wait almost half a year to tell us that Trump knew that COVID was dangerous?
It's politically motivated. All right.
Yes.
This was our conversation today. Gentlemen, I enjoyed this. I hope those watching you also enjoyed, and those who are going to. Let's listen to the youth. Let's not just say by youth. Let's listen to the youth. All right?
Yes.
So before I ask Mhambi to make an announcement here, Mhambi is about to make an announcement concerning something. Next week, I'm going to continue the same topic, the battle for Zambia's democracy. I'm going to have Mr. Josiah Kalala, who is the Executive Director of Chapter 1 Foundation. We shall speak this from the people on the ground in Zambia. So, Mhambi, what is about to happen in the next few weeks?
Well, I was approached by our beloved Pastor Nathan, I think about 2 months ago, around the time of his birthday. I said that, I want to put you on the show. You can host a monthly segment. So I was like, oh, this is quite a surprise. So, I had to take time. I had to think about it. I had to call, my relevant sources. I said, this is a good idea. So they said yes. So next month we'll be starting a segment, conversations with Mhambi, just talking to mainly young people, but also to relevant stakeholders. Not just talking about politics, but talking about different issues that really affect our community. So we hope to start that next month, and I'm very grateful for Pastor Nathan to give me this opportunity. So if you know people, our viewers who might be interested, my name's on the screen. I have social media. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on any social media platform. DM me. We want to make sure that this is a vibrant monthly segment that really gets to connect with people. And I'll be sure to have my brother Greenwell back, because we'll be having conversations, and it'll be great.
Greenwell that will start next month.
I think so. So it will start next month, talking to again young people in Zambia, in the Zambian diaspora, to ensure that we're building connectivity among the youth
Excellent. Well, looking forward to that. Conversations with Mhambi starting on May 17th. It will be a monthly segment. We look forward to that. And great. Gentlemen, thank you for taking the time. Mhambi, thank you again for coming.
Thank you.
It's always a joy to get your insight. And my young man here within my neighborhood, Greenwell, don't be a stranger. This is your platform. Great job. Now I shall get to Auntie Brenda and Uncle Charlie to give you a score. I want to see what their scorecard on this one. Now everybody,
let's hope they're not going to use the UPND yardstick to judge.
Hope we gave you some insight on how the youth are looking at our democracy in Zambia. That was the purpose of this conversation. Tomorrow, Sunday, at 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern, and 5 p.m. Pacific, Zambian clergy will be holding their monthly meeting. So join us on the Zam Clergy platform, and you can watch that over there. Otherwise, thank you, everybody, and have a great weekend.
Ready to take your nursing career to the next level? At Global Nurse Pathways, we're here to make your dream of working in the U.S. healthcare system a reality. From expert NCLEX exam preparations to personalized consulting and relocation support, led by the incredible Dr. Alice Nalondo, who holds a Doctor of Nursing Practice and is certified as a family nurse practitioner and a psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner. Our team delivers top-notch training to help you answer the NCLEX exam. Once you pass your NCLEX exam, we will connect you with the US-based recruiting agencies, setting you on the path to an amazing career in healthcare. Ready to get started? We're just a call or a message away. Call or WhatsApp us now at +1 346 328 1110 for the US or +260 961 875 081 for Zambia, or email info@embehavioral.com. Let's make your dreams come true together. Global Nurse Pathways, transforming careers, changing lives.
Zambia Blog Talk Radio.